That's my answer to that.
Are you ready?
I don't even think it's a day today. There's no days today.
It's all good. Today is our day. Today is the day that the break room has made. How you doing, my
See?
brother?
That's a good. You got a good brought up. See there, guy. That's good stuff. That's a good song, guy. That's a very good song. I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm
Yeah.
doing good. I was gonna say I'm doing better than some people, but
You're just right off the bat. We're just going.
but when we really think about it, them still I do better than me.
Mm.
No matter which way you slice it, man, they still doing better than me, bro.
What's this? Who are you? You're talking about anybody particular, there, guy?
Well, I'm talking about Mr. Particular, Mr. LeBron James. He okay, here we go.
Okay.
I'm doing better than LeBron James fans.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not doing better than LeBron James. LeBron James is fine. He got swept, whatever. You know, he has his whole life. You know, he has his kids, he has his Lambos, he has his plethora of greatness to look back at it, all his accolades. His fans, I'm probably doing better than his fans right now.
Is that a triple word score for plethora, guy?
Jeez. Don't ask me to spell it.
That's an easy one, guy. I could win a spelling bee, guy. I remember I beat my grade 7 teacher. I made it through the class, and then and the teacher was like, "Mr. Corsetti, I remember this," and he's like, "You're up against me, man." And then I won. It was great.
Be a grade 7 teacher.
It was chicken scratch. I was like, "That's what it says, man." I had to do a quick. Like, that's what it said. I don't even remember the word.
No wonder you pressure me so much on this show, man. Because you've been beating people up with this.
That's what it says.
With your verbal pugilism from time.
You know what it is? That's pugilism, okay. Right? That's right.
Yeah.
See? I don't even want to spell it. Don't worry about it. No, you know what, LeBron? Because I was thinking about it, because, like, you know, that's all over the timeline. It's either one side or the other. Blah blah blah. So it's like.
Sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
This right here.
Yes.
Is 2 years in the making.
2 years.
How long we been doing this? How long we been doing this?
Oh, well, this is episode 95, so at least 95
Episode
weeks.
95.
Yes.
This right here is 2 years in the making. Big shouts out, Miss Cam.
Miss Cam, big up.
Thank you for jumping in.
Hey.
She like, shut up.
That's funny. That's hilarious. MC Nads, big up. Good evening. Up. Happy Tuesday.
What's up to you?
I think it was you that taught me the theory of relativity, right? Is that right? You told me that. That's where I got it from you.
Everything's sounds like relative. Something that I'll teach someone.
Right? So, I mean, did the Lakers have a good season or no? Because I don't like the Lakers. And if you ask, LeBron, he's no Jordan, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just asking.
Mm-hmm. I would say that Lakers had, I think Lakers had a storybook season. I think Lakers had the type of season that is good for the movies. You know, like, you know what the Lakers season is? Lakers season is like Rocky 1.
Fuck, man. You watch Rocky again, guy? This guy ran through Rocky
season. Lakers season is like Rocky 1. So they're getting beat up they're getting beat up, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden they start to bounce back, and you're like, whoa, it looks like these guys can do it.
Right.
But then they really just succumb to the greater opponent.
Yes.
Right. And at the end of the movie, Rocky walks off and he's like just proud of what he's accomplished.
Right. Right.
That's where the Lakers are right now.
So they
lost to Denver. There should be no shame in their game, because Denver was just definitely a better team, and there's a lot to look forward to positively moving into the future. And that's coming from me, someone who, if LeBron's on the team, I don't like your team, but I must respect it.
Samesies, right? Samesies. Like I'm right with you, all right? So that's why I'm wondering. Like they got swept. You shouldn't get swept. It's more of a like if you're gonna try to tell me that LeBron's better than Jordan, okay, no, this is another thing for me to tell you that, right? Like, no, see, look, you got swept. You got swept. Right? You gotta get swept, right? So that's another thing, but just LeBron in the bubble of relativity. I mean, he had a good. He came out strong. Did his, he's still. Is he better than 90% of the league? Do you agree with that?
Well, I mean, still? he performed last night. What he did, 60% shooting from the field goal. He hit 40 points. Like,
would you play basketball before? Guy, talking what the hell?
LeBron James did his damn thing, and they're saying that he was on an injured leg. If he wasn't injured, he probably would have won. No, I mean, I don't think LeBron was going to go for 70. And LeBron played great, but the team that he played against was just better. That's how there is to it.
And that's how I feel about just when people are talking about this whole thing. I'm like, no, you know what? They lost to Denver. Like, this is Joker, man. Joker's a beast, yo. Man's sick. I haven't been able to watch him, just sit there and watch him play for a little bit. Joker's ill, man. That team, yeah, you're right. That team's just way better. They just beat him up. Even I turned on the game yesterday and it was going into halftime, and the Lakers were all rah, rah, rah. And I was like, I don't know. I was like,
you didn't trust it?
No. And then like 5 minutes in, like when they went on that first run and it was over, you just knew it was over. Well, I knew it was over, but I guess the LeBron folk them. Yeah, they got
Frank
whipped.
Reed said they got whipped.
Yeah.
Cammy 23, what up with you?
Even
MC Nash says she's excited to see Vibe 105 boss on the show tonight.
The boss man.
DE, what up with you?
Samesies. Fave, what up? Good evening. What else?
What up with you?
Like Jokers, it was just Joker, guy, like Joker, right? I never knew he could do all that stuff.
You know what?
I didn't know he could do. I don't know he can do a cartwheel guy and a cartwheel 3.
I know we usually talk a little longer than this at the intro, but I think this might be a conversation that Manifest might want to get involved in.
He's itching, and he might be itching to talk about some sport, eh? He's an athlete, that guy. That's how I know. That's how I know him. I know him as an athlete. I don't know about all this DJ stuff. And
he was the fastest guy I ever knew. He was the fastest Randy I knew. He was the fastest Randy I knew.
Sweets guy.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining Pizza in the Break Room, episode 95. Today we have a very special guest, DJ Manifest. This is T.Dot Hotshot, Couture J. Again, like I said, it's episode 95, and we'll be right back.
We here now. We here. Yeah. It's in the break room, y'all. Holla, holla, holla. Woo!
I love it.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, everyone.
All right. So did you think that Jokic could do
a
cartwheel 3-pointer?
I heard pugilism and plethora, and I thought I was in the wrong room. I was like, I don't have the vocabulary for this.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, we've been practicing. This is written down. We practice these words and stuff, man.
Yeah,
those are my. I ran to get my thesaurus real quick.
Those are my 2 words that I had to use for tonight.
Got it.
If not, then the boss reprimands me at the end of the night. You're supposed to use plethora and pugilism.
Yeah, we're working with the letter P today. P.
Yes.
P.
500 points for Gryffindor.
Yikes.
Oh man!
Don't go on like that. Don't go on like that. Because I listen to you in interviews.
You're saying the Joker.
Yeah. You knew he could do these 3-point cartwheel jump shots.
Yeah, I've been watching him. He works for the way the league is structured now. You know what I mean? I feel like you were talking about LeBron killing it. 5 years ago, that same game would have won the game.
Yeah.
Right. But the way that the game plays now, the pace of it, the where the points come from, I don't think you can score 50 points and lose on a regular basis in this league now. The way that things are structured. the 3 points, there's no lead that's safe, all of that kind of stuff, right? It's more of a rules thing than it's like the skill of the players. I just find like you're running from 3-point line to 3-point line, you can't really enforce or get a groove of feeling the other bodies on the court. It changes things up. A lot of guys score triple doubles and losing by 20.
All right.
That's not commonplace back in the days.
Yeah.
And when I say back in the days, I'm talking about like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Up to 10 years ago for sure. Like
it's true though. It's a different game. Quickly. Yeah.
If you had a killer game like that, you don't lose that. You don't lose that easily, right? But I just find like, but yeah, Joker's proper, man. Joker can play the game. He can play the game. I don't think he could keep up. I think his body type allows for him to get easy buckets close to the basket. And then his ability to handle the ball gives him another dimension so he can score on all 3 levels. He's a proper player, but like if he was running up against like Akeem Olajuwon and guys that could like really go baseline to baseline, I don't think he could play that. I don't think he could play that game. Okay,
so let's be fair. So you mentioned Akeem Olajuwon, running baseline to baseline. So right now we have guys like Antetokounmpo. We have guys like Joel Embiid.
Yes.
Right. So those are pretty big guys, but also very agile. They do the baseline to baseline thing. How does he stack up on a face-off against those guys usually?
So he definitely holds his own. Like so, Embiid eats Jokic all the time.
Yeah.
When it's body to body and you have the body to hold up to him, he doesn't have an advantage there, right? But and Street Coles Davis,
you know what? That's right.
I was thinking about it. That's why I didn't want to put his name up. And then thank you, Lyndon.
He doesn't count for me. So the difference is when big men were running baseline to baseline, like we talked about, or block to block, they were touching each other.
Yeah.
Now you got Embiid. He's really running 3-point line to 3-point line. And there's no contact necessary. You can go to full length to the court and not touch anybody.
Yeah.
So a big man doesn't really get an opportunity to really enforce himself. And the only time why Embiid eats Jokic, he's more skilled than Jokic, and they have to touch each other. So it eliminates a lot of what Jokic does. But when Jokic is playing smaller guys, that's bully ball. And that's why LeBron scored. He shot 60. You said it. He shot 60% because he was in the paint. 80% of his shots came from in the paint.
Jokic doesn't bully OG Anunoby though.
Right? You see what I'm saying?
Nobody bullies OG Anunoby guy.
OG Anunoby. He works hard. OG Anunoby, he's a grinder. I like grinders.
As I'm listening to you speak right now, not only do I know that you're a wordsmith and a master vocabularyist, but as I'm listening to you, I'm like, this man sounds like he's a basketball coach.
Well, we had those years too. We had decades of those.
So, did you coach?
Yeah, I coached two provincial championships, a national championship. I coached with Jamie at Marquette. We did some summer camps with Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah, we did. I've coached all across the country, all over the states. Like we spent 10 years hard doing that, if not more. I had my designation with Basketball Canada. I traveled with the national team. I traveled with the junior national team.
Holy, you prepared this to be totally wrong, bro.
Yeah,
right. Because it's funny. That's what I was like. Yeah, Randy, man, athlete, basketball, a little bit of DJing, and then I'm like, I haven't seen Randy in a long time. And then you're telling me this story that is just completely surrounded by basketball, and I'm like, yo, that's pretty wicked. That's cool. Good for you, man. First of all, and you can hear it, like Fitz said, for real.
No, I've had different phases in my life, but I think when you're striving for stuff, they always say like you sacrifice time, energy, and relationships when you're striving for things, right? And at every stage of my life, I've kind of given up a lot of those things. I've put a lot of energy into the things that I do, a lot of time to the things that I do. And I wouldn't do it any differently, but at the same time, there are sacrifices made to do that. So when I was doing basketball, I was all in. They always talk about doing, your 10,000 hours, and I put 10,000 hours into ball. I put 10,000 hours into music. I put $10,000 into media, and a little bit of not a lot of sleep, not a lot of investment into the relationships in my life that I should have.
I was just about to ask you, did you put 10,000 hours into relationships?
Yes. So if I was gonna look back and say where did I fall short, those are the areas where I definitely fell short.
Yeah.
And it is what it is what it is. Like the conversations like this with you guys, I always know that my real friends, I can just it's like riding a bike. You know what I mean? You jump back in, and it's like we didn't miss a beat in a lot of cases. And then there's people where it's like there wasn't enough tread on the tire to revisit those relationships, and it is what it is. But the real ones, like back in the day from where we came from, I can revisit those relationships because I feel confident that the amount of time that we spent together just playing ball and just hanging out, like we put our 10,000 hours in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm comfortable with those relationships in my life for sure.
T, what you call that? You call that currency?
Yeah.
Currency. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
But it's like that because it's you being here today, and that's what I keep saying. Like really, the people that come on our show, like 90% are people that we know that are just doing dope things. And when we call them up and we're like, hey man, you got some time on a Tuesday? And it's like quick answer. Yeah, cool, man. Just tell me about it. Let's do it. What do I need to do in it? And that is of the currency that you speak of. And it's number one, appreciated. And then it's just cool because you're right. That's what we were built on, right? Just a community of folk that have literally just kind of grown up, but still are connected in some sort of way. Right. So.
Yeah. Those days you can never lose, right? Like again, when I say we put in our 10,000 hours, like we just spent time together just doing dumb stuff and fun stuff, and we just spent a lot of our hours together. Like you guys are like more family than my family in a lot of ways when I put in hours. Like I had this conversation with somebody earlier. Like a lot of people don't even know this, but like I never had a relationship with like my father. So a lot of the people that were in my life as friends early on in the days, I kind of projected father figure. So I took things from everybody around me. I was a sponge.
I had that same conversation today.
Yeah, and literally today I had that conversation. I was like, I was a sponge for the relationships in my life. Sometimes when I look back, it could have been unhealthy, could have been healthy, but it was the things that formed me in a lot of ways. So I put a lot of stock in those relationships.
I had that same conversation today, like a conversation in regards to like my father.
Yes.
Right. Love my father.
Right.
I've said before, when I was younger, my father was like my superhero. He is the reason why I end up being who I am today, because in my formative years, he was the person that I wanted to be. Right. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I was older that I realized he's not who I want to be. Right. I spent a lot of time with him and I'm not saying my dad's a bad guy by any means.
Sure.
Right. But, I was asked, was my father a good role model? Mm-hmm. And I said, it was a question. I was like, And I was like, when I was younger, yeah. But that's because he's who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I realized just thinking back now in retrospect, he wasn't a good role model. Not that he was a bad role model. It's just that he didn't really, when people say, oh, my dad used to say, my father used to tell me, da 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 da, and like all these like sayings,
Yeah.
My dad didn't give me none of those. The only thing he gave me was, if you don't hear, you're going to feel, one of those. But like, But people always say, yeah, my dad used to all these wise sayings. I never got all these wise sayings.
Right.
Right.
So, but there were other adults in my life,
It's important.
mainly coaches,
Yes.
that I did get these wise words from. You know what I mean? So, not saying that my dad was a bad role model. It's just that I'm realizing as I was older, he didn't play as much a part in the older part of me now as the younger part. The younger part was, it brought me to a level,
Right.
even like a business, right? Or like an artist,
Right.
right? As an artist, like you have your manager, and then when you get to a certain level, you got to lose that manager because now you need another manager to bring you to handle the bigger business.
The bigger
you know?
business, right? No, I hear that. I used to so another thing that I did simultaneous to doing basketball is I worked with Boys and Girls Clubs, and I was the national director for Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada for York Region. And one of the things that we always talked about in sort of like doing development is assets. And every child, every person has like 30 assets that they draw on, 15 internal, 15 external. And they always talk about where your parents can't necessarily when your parents can't fill the role of being a positive asset in your life, it's important to have other formative adults, whether they be coaches, whether they be an aunt or an uncle, whether they be friends of the family. But as long as you have other sort of adults that you can lean on, you're going to have positive assets that you can help form a foundation for you to be a positive role model or adult in your life as well. So that's kind of what you're living there. I think all of us.
We all live that, right? Yeah, I was about to think, like, because you're right. The coaches are like in our life. We have the same coaches for most parts of our lives, right? And it's so big up to Ron and Tom, all those guys. Carl's big up him too.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just some of the things, the baseline stuff that kind of sits with all of us is interesting, right? So. And it's the impact that they've had for like there's things that I say or that I do even as when I was coaching or even as a parent that come from those guys that taught me stuff, right? So it is pretty cool how that all works.
Yeah, it's important, man. I always say, like, that's one thing that I try to do even with my son is like just try to make sure that he's engaged with other adults. Like I try to give him as much as I can, obviously, but I want to make sure that he's surrounded by as many role models or adults as possible so that he can draw from other things. And I hope to influence him from what I do and, you know, what I say and things of that nature, but I don't want him to only lean on me either because we want to diversify that.
Well, it's when Fitz was talking about his father not necessarily being the role model that initially, right? That you thought, I think that's a balance for all of us as parents, right?
Big time.
Like that is. Sorry, go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to say, like, it's probably like I don't think it's we shouldn't, as parents, we shouldn't have to have all that pressure to have to be perfect for our kids. You know what I mean?
The realness of it, right? Yeah. Because it's like you say, like I don't know if my kids wrote or if I wrote everything down that I did. I'm sure that there's going to some going to come up on a good side and some is a bad side of being a role model. As my kids look at me, right? But you know, I think they kind of take away some of these things that we've learned, that we've instilled in our kids, and those types of things. And those are the kind of foundation stuff, I think, more than, you know, was I good or was I bad? It's really kind of how we've set some sort of foundation with our kids that they can go out in the world and be competent and be good kids, right? I'm like, I think I'm blessed to be able to say my kids are good kids, right? So for that, you know, I think we should all take some of that away as well but that also comes from all these people from this community that we're around, right? So
I love the concept of assets, as you said just a while ago, like you know, just making sure that they have, you know, like a plethora of assets available to them as they develop into the next generation of human beings.
That I think about often is like these kids that we're raising are going to be the ones that are taking care of us and making big time decisions. Like I think about where we are right now, and like as like business owners and like contribute and like major contributors to society and taxpayers, and I'm like, I don't know what that world's gonna look like when it's my son who has to take on those kind of things. I just hope, we knock on wood, that that he's gonna be ready to take all that stuff on, because I don't even. When in your life did you feel like you were supposed to be doing what you're doing, or are you still finding like you're searching for that? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a stage where like I look back and I'm like, I'm at the age now where the prime ministers and the principals and the people that guided our lives, we're that same age right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're older than Uncle Phil right now.
Straight good. So what is that like? When did you feel like you were Uncle Phil worthy? Or is that something that you never really I guess aspire to?
No. I just never think about it until it hits me. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like MC Naz says, I feel like I'm still searching. And there's times where I think, okay, like I'm cool, I gotta figure it out. But then there's those other moments where I'm like, I'm lost. Like I know this is not it. You know? And listening to you right now, tell me, like just from the conversation that we had, we talking about basketball, I'm like, nah, this sounds way more deep than just the average fan. I'm like, and then you're saying that you were coaching.
Yeah. And
you're coaching not at just high school, like at some serious levels.
Yeah.
Then for you to transition into the community work, and then into the work that you do now, it sounds like you have just like have been somewhere and then decided to search for something else and then go somewhere else again. You know what I mean?
Right. It definitely in my life, I definitely, there was times when I kind of shunned it, where I was like, I don't feel like I'm ready for it, or I don't want to be ready for it. So I just want to like pivot and do something else that's a me thing. But at certain stages, I was like, I like everything that I've done, I wanted to own it. And I think that comes a lot from like even my childhood. Like, you want to be in a position where you can control the outcome. And at least if you can't control the outcome, know that you've given it your everything. You know what I mean? And if it's time to move on, then it's time to move on, or whatever have you. But I definitely, it took me some time to kind of realize, I was like, hey, you win an award. Like, we've won trophies in life and all that kind of stuff. And then again, DJing, I've won national awards, and in media, I've won national awards and provincial awards and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay,
LeBron.
Yeah, like, I don't have any awards, guy. Like, what do you mean we all win awards?
We all have a plastic something somewhere in some joint, right? But like, we've all like achieved things, and every time I've achieved things, I was like, I took stock, and you look back 3 years, look back 5 years, and you're like, I guess that's enough to kind of like justify, right. You got to put the next 5 years. You got to put in enough the next stage of effort, so that you can kind of like just build on something that you've accomplished. But I always try to look back I never try to like review in the moment. In the moment, I try not to think about what we do. I just try to do it. But then every 3 years, I'll look back and be like, okay, what happened over this past 3 years? And it is something that you can take stock in, or is it something that you could tweak or do a little better or whatever have you. So I've always had that kind of like, I guess, consideration with everything that I've done. And that's why I asked that question of ourselves, because I asked that question of myself a lot of times. I love it. Medina
in the house. Big up, yo. Yeah, it's interesting, because I know I'm very much a now type of person,
Okay.
right? And so I kind of sit in that a lot. So the shifting is more, but the shifting still happens, I guess, is kind of where I was getting at, right? Like I, I think every week I say this to a guest. I didn't think I'd be here on this show doing a podcast with this guy. And look, you're on this now too, Sweets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, right? Never in like 3 years ago, no chance, right? So, but that for me is me just living in the minute, in the moment, in that, right? And just trying to just be the best I can today. But then as you guys were talking about it, I'm sitting there saying, but I got goals, right? And I want to just be better. And there's things that I want to do as well. So there's some balance in there, I guess. But I think if I have to pick, I'm more of a like in the now. Like that shifting thing isn't necessarily, I guess I shift versus like I'm a shifter, maybe. Is that? There you go. How about that?
Right.
But I'm big.
Well, I gotta say, I'm in awe of you guys. Like, to be honest, like the whole podcast thing, I don't know if I could do it.
What are you talking about? You do it live, like.
So I'm involved in media. I would say I'm a media. I have some stripes in media.
Right.
So like I know that I can do it. I'm involved in it. I can produce it. I can structure it.
Right.
But I've never really been front of camera, front of house type of guy. And I say that with like a little bit of humility, obviously, because I've DJ'd in front of like 10,000 people,
right?
4 different continents, and yada yada. Like I know I can do that. I know I can present. I can do speeches in front of people. I know that piece. But like I feel like the personality, you guys just have a certain je ne sais quoi. You know what I mean?
That's not in the list today, buddy.
Okay. So we're in the letter P, right?
P.
Letter P. I'll come up with something. I'll come up with something. But you guys have something. You guys have something that like it's magic, right? That works. So I always say like I just whether I could do it or not do it, I just appreciate what you guys do. I can't do what you guys do. How about that?
No, I appreciate you for that, but I know you're just talking because I know that you can do it, because when I listen to you, I'm like, okay, Randy, all right, manifest.
Okay.
No, I know this is a sphere that you would definitely mash up if you wanted to.
Maybe
just say that you don't have the time for it. Just say you're too busy, man.
Okay, maybe that. maybe one day.
Miss G Live, what up with you? LA Mall Care, what up with you? Keith Stay Woke, what up with you? Medina 7408, what up with you? IQ Remix, the smartest man on
the Twitch. Big up. This is episode, what does this say? 95 of Pizza in the Break Room, everybody. This is Randy Reed, aka DJ Manifest, aka Sweets, blessing us today.
You know who gave me the Sweets thing?
That's on my list right here. Right? It says that question's right here. It says it right here, man. That's question number 17.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us how did you get the name Sweets, sir?
So in high school, we used to always go over to
tell them what high school. You got to tell them what high school.
Oh, Mother Teresa, Malvern, all day, every day. So, although there was a semester where I think I went to one class the whole semester.
You don't have to say that.
That's the semester you did all the push-ups, guy.
Yes, man. But we used to always go over to Stretch's house to play music, and then I just leaned into the R&B. And in playing the R&B sets, I think we used to do these battles, right? We used to do like we used to do the slow jam battles and all this kind of stuff. And like we go 1 for 1 on the slow jams, and then we do sets. And I always chose R&B as my sets. And it was Paul who called me Sweets first.
Oh yeah?
It was Chinto, yeah. He's the first person to call me Sweets.
Oh wow!
And it was because I don't know. It was because of the R&B. It was because I was playing like I did like a Mary J. Blige and John A. set or whatever. And he's like, this guy just pulling all of the R&B like sweets. And it just stuck. It just stuck. And then I rolled with it. And then I think I don't know if I never really professionally, like when I had like stages of it, I don't think I ever professionally used Sweets as like my name. I think when I decided to like really chase after the DJing thing, I found the manifest name. I workshopped it with some girl that I ran into, but the Sweets thing was like, that was sort of like all of high school. I was making these R&B mixtapes, and I'd be selling R&B mixtapes out of my backpack.
Okay, I think I have a mixtape. I got to get to the thing. There's a spot in my garage that I just can't get to. That's where the mixtapes are. I got to get to that spot because I think.
Yeah, I did. I remember I did a series once with like a couple like specialized remixes and all this kind of like it was silly when I look back at it. But it was lunch money.
Ah, there you go.
That's not
it
silly,
man.
It
was a means to an end.
That was a smart guy right there.
All right, we have a question from LA Mulcare.
Okay.
The question is, ask him who in his opinion should be the next Raptors coach.
That's a tough job. Like I don't know.
Why is it a tough job? Tell me why you think it's a tough job.
Because the team doesn't have the team is it's not a complete team. I say that to say, like, I think Siakam is good. I think Fred VanVleet is good. I don't think any of them throw. We talked about Rocky at the beginning. None of them have a knockout punch.
Spicy peas in the chat, everybody. Spicy peas in the chat.
Right? So I don't think any of them have a knockout punch. And I think you need that. You need somebody who can kind of like give you a switch up in the game. We don't have that on our team. So it's like you're kind of holding court. The coach who you get today is not the coach who's going to be there 3 years from now. 1,000%. Whoever you get right now is a holdover.
Yeah.
You think?
1,000%. We're not structured to win right now. And by the time we get to a point where we can win, the coach is going to be gone.
So you think we're rebuilding?
1,000%. I think we just got to lean into it. And I think we have good pieces. I just don't think the pieces fit. I don't think the pieces fit because you need a centerpiece. Who's the centerpiece on our team?
Don't ask us. This somebody might press the button and turn off the show, guy. I don't want to.
Okay.
We try not to talk too bad of Spicy P here. Like you gotta say your piece and then move on to the next guy. Let's see what happens.
So I guess I'll keep the conversation to the coaches then.
No, you can keep it with the players. Let me just.
He's gonna get angry.
Spicy P is an all NBA player. Like if Jaylen Brown is an all NBA player, Spicy P is an all NBA player.
Spicy P.
Right? So yes. No doubt. I think he's an all NBA player. I think he's top 20, top 25. I'll give him that. Right? I don't know if top 25, just like LeBron James got swept in the playoffs, I don't know if top 25 is enough. If he doesn't give you a haymaker, Giannis gives you a haymaker, and it's not enough. And again, it's the way that the teams are structured now, right? Mm-hmm. So I just think they went into this all like rangy players, 6'6" to 6'9",
okay,
type vibe, and I think they did that too much.
Listen to what you're saying, though. To be fair, right? So you're saying
watch this, Sweets. I know what he's gonna say. Go watch.
You're saying that Spicy P is not enough. The team's not structured in a way to be successful, right? And we're saying successful because we're measuring success with championships.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
Milwaukee is the best team in the league this year. You're not going to tell me that they're not structured to win a championship, but they lost in the first round. we got a team in Phoenix that looks like they're structured to win a championship.
Right.
But I got this one.
We got Golden State Warriors. So now we can say that a team is not structured to win a championship because they didn't win a championship.
Right.
There's only going to be one team to win this year. And then when Denver wins or Miami wins, then we're going to say those were the teams that were structured to win a championship. Miami barely got into the playoffs.
Do you think Denver is where they are because of matchups?
I think Denver is actually a really good team.
Regardless
Denver
of the matchup.
is where Denver is where they are because they can pass the ball to Jokic, and Jokic can just take over the game and run it. Who's the?
But don't disregard the Canadian. Don't disregard the Canadian kid.
I won't. Jamal Murray, big up Jamal Murray. I'm not even gonna no disrespect Jamal Murray. I'm just saying, Jokic, just
he's a cog. He's an anchor.
Boom, done. Same thing. If it's gonna be Miami. Like Jimmy Butler is just taking it and just said, yo, I'm going to go win. Fuck it. He said, let's go. We're going to go win. And Spicy P can't do that. There, I'm done. That's it. I told you. I'm just going to say
and that's fair. But then how many people can do that?
If he can do it, he has
not a lot.
This team doesn't allow him to do that because there's too many duplicated parts.
Yeah.
So you need Spicy Pete probably needs five to seven more possessions a game. And
there you go, my brother. There you go. That's what I agree with.
To get to those 5 to 7 possessions a game, you have to get rid of possibly an OG and replace that, or get rid of Fred VanVleet, because Fred VanVleet probably should be taking 5 to 7 less possessions.
Right. Okay. So there we go. So I don't think that you need to get rid of anybody, really. Like if people play their position, if everybody on the team treats Spicy P like he is the one.
Okay, so then to answer the question, then we need a coach who can control the locker room.
There you go.
So it's not.
I'll
Steve
agree
Nash.
with that.
It's not Steve Nash. I don't know if it's Kenny Atkinson because I don't know him well enough, but I don't think he's that dominant. I think Fred and Siakam have too much tenure in the team to listen to just anybody. So it's got to be somebody who has like to be honest, I would even take Milwaukee's coach. I would take I would take
Buddha bye.
Yeah, Buddha bye. Like
so what is this? Wife swap? Is that what's happening? Wife swap? Milwaukee get our coach, we get their coach.
I would take him only because he has championship pedigree.
Yeah.
And if he says something, they'll have to they'll have to listen. Right? Where I think I don't think Steve Nash can do that. Or if we can get Monty Williams in a heartbeat. Monty Williams in a heartbeat. I take that.
LA Mulcair says, I respectfully disagree. And he says, I don't think he's talking about the Monty Williams, but I respectfully disagree. It is the system that the coach uses to get the players to buy in, to play as a unit, to do whatever it takes to be successful. So so kind of like Malone, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like Malone.
Yeah, but you need a coach who can pick a system and then hold the players to the system. I think what happened with Nick Nurse is he started butting heads with the players and they went rogue.
Yeah.
So there's times when, like, again, I think Fitz, you agree with me, like Fred VanVleet taking those 5 to 7 shots a game that he probably shouldn't, but there's nobody to tell him he can't because of his tenureship.
You have to speak. Take time when you're talking because Fred VanVleet watches this show. So why are you laughing, man?
No, hey, I don't think Fred VanVleet is a bad player. I just don't think he's not the guy who's supposed to take the majority of shots on your team.
Right.
Because he's not built for that. Like basketball is still a skill and body type of game. You know, you're 6'6", you can do that. Iverson was amazing, phenomenal, but he was still 6'1". You know what I mean? And there's certain things that he just couldn't. And again, he was dope, but look at the toll that it took on his body. Right? I just don't think 6'1", 6'2", gets you there.
So here we go. So DE, I think that Pascal Siakam's the best number 2 in the league. I don't think that if Pascal Siakam is the best player on your team, that you can win a championship.
Mm.
That's the statement that I stand by. Big up to DJ Ron C up in other place.
Nice.
DJ Ron C, they need to make the foul shots. Yeah, that too, man. Like, dude, the other. Anyways, just that's. I just try. I try to get in and out on my Pascal. So I'm in, I'm out. There we go.
Okay.
But here's what I agree with you. We're saying they need a coach that can have everybody fall in line, right?
Yes.
And I do believe that Nick Nurse was a very arrogant coach. I think him winning that championship was his curse, because I don't think he got to really build himself as an NBA coach, head coach. You know, I think he just demanded respect because he already had the ring. You know, but
Right.
I don't think he really showed anything to say that he really deserved the respect, right?
Mhm.
And I was driving with my son yesterday, and I was talking to him about Jimmy Butler.
Right.
And I was kind of comparing Jimmy Butler's attitude to one that hit maybe, you know, like you need a coach that can structure your team,
Yeah.
right? And have all the players fall in line, or you need a player that is willing to do whatever it takes
And accept whatever the coach lines up as a
No,
system.
no. What I'm saying is to do whatever he feels necessary, and not worry about what a player,
Right.
a coach, or the media has to say about whatever he ends up doing at the end of the day.
Got it. With
Right?
like Jimmy. Yeah, like Jimmy. Yeah.
Right? Because that's a set of cajoons that helps a particular person be great. Because I feel like Jimmy just does what he does, not like he's banking on himself. He's like, okay, I know that I'm skillful enough to get this particular job done. I'm gonna do it regardless of what is supposed to happen. I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure that we get to the promised land.
Right.
And if I fail, I'm not afraid of the media. I'm not afraid of the coach. I'm not afraid of the players on my team. Where there's some great players that won't take the chance because they don't want to mess up and then have to face the music.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, I hear.
So I think that's like some people are super talented. That right there, I believe, is Jimmy's talent that he's showing to the world right now, is that his nerve is a special gift.
You think the money is shaking them a little bit? You think it's so much money on the line that players don't play with joy? Like Jimmy plays with joy. So when you say he just does what it takes to win the game, you can see in the game Jimmy's playing basketball. Like,
but that's his brought up, see though, right?
Right. So if he was playing in the rec,
difference.
if he was playing in the rec, if he's playing in the Olympics, if he's playing on the NBA main stage, he's playing basketball the way he knows how to play basketball. I feel like there's a lot of players who are like they're almost, the contract is like a third of their brain.
Yeah.
D'Angelo, like what was that? Who's that kid? The kid from LA who?
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Contract was in his head the whole time.
I think that happened to us too with Fred VanVleet. Like I personally think that
1,000.
Nick Nurse, like, yeah, I don't like Nick Nurse as a coach, but I also do believe that Nick Nurse was having a problem coaching the contract that was coming up.
There you go. And the coach is like, I'm going to coach this guy like I don't want to give him $30 million. Or I'm going to coach this, or this player is going to play like I'm coaching like, or I'm going to play like I deserve $30 million. And that's where you get those extra, those that shot discrepancy comes up because they're playing the contract and they're not playing the game. Right? Because Jimmy's the kind of guy where he'll be the top paid player on the team and he'll have an 8-point game if it means that they'll win. If it means he has to pass every ball, and he's not shook on the contract because he knows that they know his value. Where Fred VanVleet is like, if I have an 8-point game, they're not going to know that I'm worth $30 million. And and he's insecure.
But and that speaks to the point of the nerve of the person, right? Because Jimmy Butler is the type of guy that will walk into practice and say, "You're gonna pay him,
right,
and not pay me. Put me on the third team. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to this guy."
There you go.
And demolish them, and then say, "That's what you're paying."
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people don't have that nerve.
Yes.
And again, it's
Chutzpah? Oh no, Pete.
Oh,
Pete. Shit. Pete. Sorry. Damn. Okay. All right. There's like a double letter in there somewhere at least. Yo, jeez, shit. Anyways, just really quickly, we also say every week on Pizza in the Break Room that these folks that are here could be anywhere in the world. They're here with us, so big up to everybody that's here. Episode 95. We are closing in on 100.
Jeez.
Big things.
Closing in on 100. That's cool. That's
so
pretty
wait,
awesome.
For 100, is it pizza or is it donuts?
Good question. Tune in and find out.
Yeah.
Tune in and find out on episode 100 of Pizza in the Break Room.
Pizza or donuts? Either way, that's a big milestone, man. That's huge.
It is. I remember we say this all the time. Like number 5 felt like a big milestone.
Right. Right.
Number 5 felt like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, yo, the ball's rolling, bro.
We got a couple. We did it. You called me back. Like that was like you called me back the second week. Good job. All right, way to go, man. Let's go. High five.
Love it.
That kind of stuff, man. What's the score in that game? Isn't that game on right now?
Miami's winning that game hands down. They're probably up by 20.
Wow.
Did you hear the wackest trash talk ever? Did you guys hear about that?
Talk to me. What's this all about?
Marcus Smart.
Ooh.
Right? Last game 3, he said, and I quote, I don't know who he said it to, but his quote was, "During the game, we beat you last year. Quiet down." That was his quote during the game.
Marcus Smart?
Yes, they caught that on audio. That was his thing. He's like, "We beat you
don't sound like a Marcus Smart soundbite. Marcus Smart's like a...
That just sounds
Boston's... Jimmy Butler took your heart.
Boston's up by 9.
Boston's up by 9?
Yeah.
What's the time?
End of the third quarter. Heading into the fourth. 12 minutes to go. That can go. That could swing anyway. Yeah.
All it takes is for Williams to talk to Jimmy Butler again.
Straight. That can go either way.
This is very true.
Yeah. Leads mean nothing. What really struck me with the LA Denver series is the fact that like LA just couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
As good as their defense was, they just couldn't stop them. They scored at will. That was the difference. Like they were scoring enough buckets. They just couldn't stop them.
Super impressive, man. Super impressive when this like a team is running like a well-tuned machine.
Yeah. Good, like beautiful basketball. I enjoyed watching Denver play. Like that's it. Back in the day, that type of basketball probably wouldn't win against us like a skilled player, but I liked what they were doing.
I think that's worse, man.
Don't let us get one.
I think what Marcus Smart said is worse about we beat you last year, guy. Nah.
Who cares what you did last year?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Don't let it guess. Like that's what Jason Tatum has to say. That's what he has to say right now. Don't we got to get one. We get 1, then we get 2, then we get 3. It's not over. That kind of stuff. That's what he should say. But so cool.
But when you're relying on them kind of cliches, like you kind of know that you don't really have a plan. Like, you're not confident. When you're like, anybody like I beat you last year, that means you already lost. Like you gave up.
Never.
Like that should never come out of your mouth. Like how long? People who are 6 years old playing basketball should know that you're not supposed to say something like that.
I beat you last time.
I beat you last time. Who says that?
Beat me yesterday, guy. I beat you yesterday, guy.
Oh,
Oh, jeez,
that
that's
doesn't
All right,
mean
Randy, we're talking about basketball.
Yes.
I want to jump back a little bit,
Mhm.
and and I want you to push us forward.
Okay.
I want you to tell us how you got involved in basketball,
Okay.
then in the coaching aspect,
Yeah.
and I want you to run us through your transition, through your evolution, the evolution of DJ Manifest, starting from basketball player to coach to
Wow.
community worker to
I mean, okay, so basketball is something that we did from high school, like every day, 7 days a week,
right.
6 hours a day. We were bouncing a ball somewhere. I was dribbling balls between light
Gosh.
posts at home, type of thing. I was shoveling
that's
I was
what
shoveling the
she
half court.
said.
You know what I mean? Like we all did that. We all did versions of that type of thing.
Right.
So shoveling the half court so you can dribble an icy ball and just put up shots. So basketball was always a big part of my life, but then simultaneous to that, we found music.
Okay,
And-
stop. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I'd be remiss if I was to not ask you who was the best player that you played with in high school.
Oh my God, I can't say it because we're gonna get
Just say it,
roasted.
man. Just say it.
I'm not gonna. What am I gonna say? You?
No, don't say it. Don't say me. Don't say me.
I don't. Who we played with? Oh man, we played with so many good players, man.
First one that comes to your head.
Oh man, I want to say Sandy was like. I don't think he was the best player, but I loved his package.
Okay.
I loved what he brought to the table. As a guard, he was like a Van Exel type of, you know what I mean, scoring guard before scoring guards type of thing. I liked what he brought to the table, and then he turned out to be a really good ball player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At various levels. So I liked what he did. Man, like I didn't play with obviously I didn't play with like Vassell or those guys. Stretch was smart.
Stretch the real thing.
Stretch was a smart basketball player. Like I didn't realize how smart he was at basketball until after. Yeah, Sandy Jeffrey.
See, I knew it was Sandy Jeffrey, but I asked it like that when he said it too, guy. Don't worry, Sandy, I'm coming for you.
No, I already know Sandy's head is gonna blow up like a balloon. You know what I mean? And he's gonna say, "I told you so." But like he performed at every level, and I liked what for our team, he was a performer. He put the ball in the basket.
Cool. You gave us the answer. That's cool. So, okay, go on with your evolution.
Again, it's hard to.
Elder's gonna come send men for you.
No. You don't get to.
Elder's sending people for you right
We had
now.
we had a lot of good players on our
Who
team.
cares? You said it's Sandy. That's cool. That's all there is to it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Okay, go ahead. So with the rest of your evolution now.
That's gonna be in the back of my head. But yeah, so anyways, simultaneous to the ball, we found music, and I was doing music as much as I was doing basketball. So like at every phase of my life, I always had room for two things.
Yeah.
And as I progressed, basketball became less of a thing and other things picked up. Right. So I'd say like in quarter one of my life, basketball and music were huge. As I moved into quarter two of my life, and when I say quarter two of my life, I'm talking like 24 to like 30-ish type of thing. I did. Why? No, I was still doing basketball because I was coaching. I coached right up until 30.
Okay.
Yeah, I coached right up until 30.
Okay. Earlier you said that you got to travel with both basketball and music.
Yes.
Tell me one place that basketball brought you.
Basketball took me to Israel. Basketball took me to Israel. Basketball took me to New Orleans. Basketball took me to California and Milwaukee and New York and Turkey. Like basketball took me lots of France. right? So like, and I always say like I've been to every gym around the world.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like I remember we spent 3 days in Paris, and I spent 3 days in the gym. We didn't even like really take in the city kind of vibe, right? Like we were always like in the gym, just doing what we do. So basketball took me to a lot of different places. Basketball, music. DJ'd in Brazil, DJ'd in Cuba, DJ'd in Philippines, DJ'd all over the States. Obviously Vegas. I spent 8 months in Vegas at Flavor type of thing. So DJing took me all across Canada. Basketball took me across Canada too, but DJing took me to every province. Basketball took me to like Nova Scotia and Vancouver and those kind of spots, Calgary, Halifax. But DJing took me to every province in the country, even Northwest Territories. So, yeah.
That's wild.
It's 2023, so I'm not sure if how to ask this question, if I ask it properly in the context of all these different things that you're telling me about yourself, these different versions of yourself.
Yeah.
How do you identify? Is that bad to say in 2023? I don't like. How do you like? Are you a DJ? Are you a coach? Are you a CEO? Are you like all these different things?
I don't consider myself a basketball authority anymore, because I respect that basketball is something you got to do every day. Like coaches, they live that every day. You have to be able to. What I can say for sure is that I haven't dissected the current game of basketball like I dissected basketball a decade ago. Type of thing. And I think you need to be able to do that. The game is played, that's what I was saying to you, like the game's played differently. Sets and talent mattered a lot back in the day. Now the game's so fast where it's just like it's really just like it's motions that you're really like you just want to put people in the right position and have them going uphill, downhill in like at the right pace and the right speed. A lot of players right now, it's like sometimes you need to teach them how to play hyper fast, and you need to teach them how to play at a slower pace. And they have to be able to master both to be effective in today's game. Because there's going to be points of the game where you're just like rapid up and down the field. And if you can't play at that pace, if you can't lock in, you're going to be missing layups. You're going to be missing shots. You're going to be coming off the screen and you're going to have to pull like all of that stuff. Like you have like milliseconds to really like get your game off and get your packages out. So when you coach today's game, you kind of have to understand how things flow, like how different actions lead to certain opportunities. And it's less about like running a play. Like before we'd have like a double pin down and you could run some guy off. And if you hit, you shoulder to shoulder, rub off a screen, you're going to be open and you can do your thing. Nowadays, it's like, you just got to get into this general area. And
this is your spot.
These are your spots, and then these are your options out of this spot of the floor. And you got to put players in positions where it's like, if you're not in the right position, that's why you see the ball being thrown out of bounds all the time. Because the game's so fast, you can't like you're not even looking where you're passing the ball. Like you just got to get it to the spot, and the guy just has to. The person just has to be there, kind of vibe. So actions matter more than plays per se.
Okay. The way that the game
sure sounds like it identifies as a coach to me, but carry on.
I understand coaching, but I wouldn't disrespect the coaches that I know by saying that I'm a coach, because I don't do it. I don't do it every day. I am a DJ, but I'm less of a DJ. I'm more now. I'm a CEO. Like I run 130 stations across the country.
There we go now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like
there we go now.
You're talking about the game of basketball evolving from one way to a totally different way now.
Yeah.
How has you being like you say, running all these stations across the country, how has music evolved in a way that has maybe made what you do different than what it used to be?
Right. So one of the reasons why I say I'm not a DJ anymore is because I don't enjoy the way that music is engaged with nowadays. I think music is. There was a time when like we were curators. The music that we pulled together, the playlist that we pulled together, like that dictated 60% of the audience. Nowadays every individual kind of like curates their own playlist, which is a beautiful thing. It adds for discovery of music. So if you're an artist, if you're a producer, you can be found by tens of thousands or thousands of people depending on how good you are on a on any given day. And it's good for the creator. So now we're kind of like in this zone where like everybody's a creator. And I
Yeah.
don't think the DJ matters as much because um, the process of curating a playlist is too slow in the way that people consume music now. Nobody's waiting for DJ Clue to come out with
Desert
his
Storm.
top 10.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Unless he's producing all the records. Like Khaled, nobody's even like Khaled's big for the window of time that he's big, but like how often can he produce an album to stay relevant, right? So unless you're doing like 2, 3, 4 albums a year as a DJ of your own music or music that you've kind of curated, it doesn't fit. Um, Nightlife has changed, et cetera, et cetera. So I just pivoted and evolved based on the way that people were interacting with what was a career for me for a long time. Like I could set my calendar Monday, like I was DJing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days a week for 7, 8 years. That was like my routine. It was fluid. It was government. It was Sea Lounge, right? It was all of these different spots. It'd be patio sessions and all that kind of stuff. So like I was that lifestyle doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So, and because it was my career, because it was like that's how I ate.
Yeah.
I had to pivot because I was like, I can't make the same money that I was making, 7 years ago DJing, or even 8 years ago DJing. Like it was just a different. Things have changed. So I had to pivot to make it make sense.
So how did you get from? Sorry, go ahead. What are you saying?
I was just gonna ask if young people still do that kind of stuff, or is it because we're older that lifestyle doesn't exist, or does it completely not exist, or
it
is it
still
just
exists? No, it doesn't. It's not 5 days a week anymore, and the crowds are smaller. So like when I was at government, we were doing like 8,000 people, and like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8,000 people. Right. Those types of experiences exist, but not at the same scale.
Right.
That they used to. So like the government complex is now like Mr. C's and all of those spots over at Bisha Hotel and all that kind of stuff. Like it's the same vibe, but just like smaller. Right. So because everything is smaller, there's less money to go around, which means less opportunities for the DJs. Like, there was times when like at government, I'd be there, Jakes would be there, Four Corners would be there. Like, this is just like tons of like all your favorite DJs would be in one spot and everybody could eat. It's not like that anymore. Right. So I'm always trying to be, I always try to be like 5 years ahead. So everything I'm doing right now is like prepping for where I'm going to be 5 years from now. I'm never like in the moment, like just enjoying myself, because I knew what I'm doing right now. I knew what I was going to be doing 5 years ago. And I'm kind of just like laying things out. So to put it into context, you asked me how I pivoted. When we were playing ball in the summertime and in school season, I was doing internships at CBC. So you guys probably didn't know that, but I would disappear for like 2 months at a time. and I was doing I did an internship at CBC when I was 18. I got a job offer. They said, as soon as you graduate from college, you have a job at CBC. That's how I got into radio. And I secured that in high school.
Wow.
Because I knew I wanted to do radio when I was 7 years old. So when I was 7, I told my mom, I want to be a station manager.
Why? How come? Why'd you tell her that? What inspired you to tell her that?
It was stupid. I was just listening to this guy on the radio in the backseat of the car, and I was like, I like that. I want to do that. And I consumed myself with it. So like every book, like if there was a book on radio at Malvern Library, it's at my house, somewhere in the basement.
Mm.
Like it's not at Malvern Library anymore because I took it.
Wow.
Every book, because remember back in those days we didn't have YouTube and stuff. So you had to find your assets and your resources, and I did that. Like I went to the resource library at those times. So even in between when we were playing ball and doing music, I was gathering those assets and getting that knowledge so that I could be there. I was doing reel-to-reel edits. This
guy's got microfiche in his basement, guy.
I was splicing tape then.
Yeah.
So I knew where I wanted. I knew I wanted to be involved in media, but radio was the media that I fell in love with. And then over the years, I learned what media was, and I was like, okay, well, media. And it sounds I don't even like talking to you guys like this because this is like work Randy or what CEO Randy or whatever. But
it's
like
a safe space, man. Safe space.
I always say like media is just engagement. That's all media is. Media is about how many people are you connecting with on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute basis. So how many touch points you have. You guys are doing media right now. It's really about your audience. How are you connecting with your audience? So when I realize when you distill media down to that, whether it's Facebook, whatever, it's always comes down to the numbers. Like who's your audience? What's the demo of your audience? How do you connect with them? What is that message that gives them that dopamine hit that makes them feel like I want to come back for more, et cetera, et cetera. So once you understand that, I understood that radio was just a tool. Radio wasn't everything. DJing is not everything. It's just a tool to engage with people. So now I engage with hundreds of thousands of people across the country, but I use media in a different way. So I always say, like, I have country stations, jazz stations. Obviously, we have Vibe, which is like, you know, Canada's longest running black media hub in the country, right? So we have all of these things going on, but really, it's ones and zeros. It's matrix. It's how do you connect? It's how do you connect with people? And it doesn't really matter what it is you do. So yes, did I love DJing? 100%. Did it allow me to connect with thousands of people all the time? Yes, loved it. The mixing, the crafting, the playlist, all that kind of stuff. But really what it was how did I engage with those people? And if I'm not getting thousands of people at Cool House or Orange Room or one of those other, or Fluid or one of those spots, then what's the next platform that I could build those connections with? And I leaned into that. And I rose above the gratification of delivering my medium. I'm a radio, like, again, national awards for radio, it's yada, 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 syndication across Canada and across the States. I had all of those things, but it's not the same world anymore. So I had to evolve.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, that's been my mantra for pretty much everything. It's like, why do I change? It's not because I don't have passion for radio. It's not that I don't have passion for DJing. It's that the job isn't just DJing. DJing is a tool. The job is, how do you connect with people? And that's why, like, now I kind of like sell my services as somebody who just brings brands together through media, whatever the media might be.
That's what she said.
Right? And that's my mission, I guess, right? And I guess a bigger picture, when I give it purpose, more than just connecting with people. I try to do it for our community. So what we've accomplished at Vibe and with VX3 and these different companies that we've kind of like launched is we're trying to connect messaging for Black audience,
Yeah.
and racialized audiences, and we kind of focus in on that. And the reason why I know it matters is because 30 years later, 25 years later, doing all of this stuff, we still don't have a Black media hub in Canada.
Can you please explain what Vibe is and then what VX3 is?
Yeah, so Vibe 105 is community radio station. It used to be, not even used to be, it still is CHRY. So back in the day, a lot of people in the West End would know what CHRY was. When we were coming up, I heard like, I guess you would call them like street fables about CHRY, Baby Blue Town Crew and all that kind of stuff. Like I didn't, because we never listened. We could never get it.
We didn't get the reception there.
We didn't get the reception. So I heard like hood stories about it, but I never really knew what it was until Mel Boogie introduced me to it. So shout out to Mel Boogie. She introduced me to 105.5, and then I kind of like fell in love with the space, and it was all our music. Like back those days in the 90s, they were doing like 70% Black music, Caribbean, reggae, hip hop, house, all of that kind of stuff. So they were already doing that back then. So it was easy to fall in love, and there's a lot of peers here and everything. So I left what I was doing at CKLN, and I went to CHRY, and I did a show with Mel. And at the time, to be honest, I was just having fun, right? Mm-hmm. And then the light switch clicked, and I was like, this is a countrywide resource. Like this is something that we have to protect. Right. So I leaned into it more, and they hired me. I kind of like pulled up the carpets and identified what needed to be changed and what needed to be revamped. And CHRY became Vibe, and I came up with the Vibe name, and we created logos and a whole scheme and all that kind of stuff. And then
how did you Jimmy Butler that, bro?
So again, basketball allowed me the tools to do that. Like one, I think I'm a good communicator, so I was able to communicate what it was the vision, and I understand people at like a one-to-one level.
Right.
So I was able to communicate, and I did the work. Like I sat down with everybody one-to-one, and I was like, what do you want to achieve? And where do you see Vibe and CHRY helping you achieve that? And we did the work. And I'm like, again, energy, time, and relationships. I sacrificed a lot in those early years to build it out, but we did it, like to the point where we're one of one. We're one of one in the country, right? So Vibe 105 broadcasts on the dial at 105.5 FM. We have a app 105. Everything's Vibe 105 TO. Over the years, we've kind of revamped things, and we have a digital platform where we do YouTube content and stuff like that. And we just celebrated a milestone where we hit, I think it's 75,000 views in 3 months, kind of thing. Which is like, it's not a lot in the grand scheme of other things that we've done. Like 24 DJs, we've had like 1.9 million unique users in a 24-hour period. Right. So the 750,000 is not a big deal, but this time last year, it was 0.
Okay.
So we went from like 0 to like 320,000 points of engagement over a period of time. And that's because we had a plan going into it. So Vibe 105 is kind of like a brand that allows for us to do content for hip hop, R&B, and culture content, reggae, soca, etc. And we broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's Vibe. And we have Nads is on the Nads is here in the room. She actually had her show today. But we have like some of the best ambassadors in the country, right? Some of the best content curators in the country, and even sometimes around the world. Puffy does our midday, Ricochet, Mastermind, who are names that you guys know from commercial radio and stuff. They're all here. So the reason why they're here is because we built something that attracted the best of the best, right? So we're kind of proud. We're kind of proud of that because, like, for them to come to us is like it's more of a trust of we're doing something right, and they also are able to really for the first time probably in a long time or in their career, they get to kind of do it the right way or do it the way that they've always envisioned. So Mastermind kind of he's a partner of mine. He's not just a staff or a team member or whatever have you. He's like a partner, and he's able to curate a radio station the way that he feels is the right way, and he's working with our team. And I think there's been some, bumps and bruises in the construction of it, right? But
when you say Mastermind, you're talking about the legendary DJ Mastermind?
Legendary DJ Mastermind, right? So he's our program director. And I always say, like, when you're constructing anything, it's going to be clear at the beginning because you have a plan. It's going to be messy in the middle because you're going through a construction and you have scaffolding and tools all over the place, but it'll be beautiful at the end. And we're kind of like in that construction period right now where it's like, hopefully we don't take as long as Eglinton West, but we're in the process of building out something that is going to be more robust. And our goal is to develop award-worthy content across multiple platforms. So VX3 is what gets us there. VX3 is my kind of like, we call it a social enterprise, but it basically is a producer of media content that we work in we produce content in collaboration with influencers across the country.
Okay.
Right. So we partner with influencers, we provide them tools, resources, etc., and then we produce filmic content. So our goal is to we are pretty dope, Nats. We produce content in collaboration with what we call micro influencers, but micro influencers are classed the BIPOC spectrum. So it'll be so we'll create over the next couple of years. We'll be producing pilots for Hulu, Netflix, TVO, a couple of other partners. And we're developing pilots for what we feel is going to be meaningful, connective content over the next couple of years beyond what broadcast can do for us. But we'll always still have the broadcast.
So you're trying to take over the world. Good. I like that.
No, that's big stuff, my brother. That's big stuff. Man.
Yeah. No, so I'm excited about the work that we do. I've had a lot of job offers. I worked at my first job in media was at CBC because that was the job that was promised to me. And then I left there a year in because I kind of already saw the kind of like glass ceiling type of thing. And I knew I wanted to do more. And I've had offers to kind of go to other places and do other things, but I feel like I'm in the right spot. People don't see what I see, but I think that's part of the, I think that's part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
Kind of, and you know it too when you have a vision for something and you kind of lay it out and people don't understand like what's this guy doing, like cutting hair or whatever have you, and then boom, it's like it's this whole lifestyle brand, and there's so much things that are involved with it, and that's why I'm a fan of you guys because I see the vision, and it's not easy. Like getting to 97 episodes, getting to 100 episodes doesn't happen by accident. It's perseverance. It's stick-to-itiveness. It's all of the things that come, perseverance is my P word, right?
There you go. You got it.
Right. But it's those things that allow you to get there. You have to be sometimes like super stubborn sometimes, and you got to be like, sometimes like, hey, my fifth episode isn't going to be my best episode, but it's not going to be my last episode either. And I'm always gonna improve. And that's kind of where I'm at with all new media, right? Is like I tell that to every jock that we have is like, Your first episode is never going to be your best episode, so just get started. And you'll end up where you need to go, but you got to just start.
Press
Don't
the
get
button.
yeah. Don't be worried about like how good you think it needs to be or the polish, or just start, right? And then you can kind of like, I always do what I call like alignments, or you can go back and be like, okay, how can we bring things back in line so that we're on track? But don't stop. I like to fall forward. If you're gonna fall forward.
Big message. Big message.
Yeah.
Big
No,
message.
that's wicked.
Yeah. But there's a lot going on. Like if anybody 5105TO, Nat's put it in the room, I think. Like if you want to check out all of our platforms there, you'll kind of see what we're working on, and we are going to revamp our website soon. So that'll change because we're doing more of that. VX3exchange.com is like, it's a bigger thing. Like we do education. We partner with universities across the GTA for their film studies and their communications and journalism. We have partnerships with Carleton University in Ottawa. I consult stations across the country. I was in Winnipeg this weekend. I'm in Calgary next week. Oh,
you got stamps, huh?
Yeah, so we're working, and then we have we've just been lobbying all this stuff with. Again, I won't get into the weeds of it, but like we're lobbying stuff with Bill C-11, Bill C-18 with the federal government. I have CRTC coming through our space. Like we're best practice in the country. So a lot of people.
I'm glad you mentioned this now. So the CRTC,
yes,
Bill C-11,
right.
That's newly implemented law.
Yeah, we're crossing the T's, dotting the I's right now.
Actually. Okay, so explain to me what that is, this Bill C-11, and how that affects you and what you do, and how that affects T-Dot, Hotshot, and I and what we do.
So when you guys take the break room to that next level, and you're generating like high volumes of revenue, you'll be taxed. You'll have to pay dividends, and that's one of the things that Bill C-11. Basically, what Bill C-11 is all about is like paying your dues, right? And that's why I asked you guys that question way at the beginning. It was like when did you identify you were the person that's supposed to bottom line things? How BC11 affects us is like we're going to be in a position with all of my network of stations to benefit from the way that new media or digital media has kind of dislodged traditional media in a lot of ways, or just regional and local media. So what that means basically is like when people are buying Facebook ads and Instagram ads and all of those different types of things, right? That money doesn't find its way to the federal government, which is the money that they use to take care of our roads, take care of our, healthcare and all of those different types of things.
Okay.
And subsidized media, which in Canada, media needs to be subsidized, because without that subsidization, we can't reach coast to coast. We just don't have the infrastructure for it, right? So they're kind of like these big media, these kind of big digital media conglomerates are kind of pulling the rug out from underneath us before we can get going. So Bill C-11 stabilizes that ground. It allows us to identify who's generating what. And if you're generating major income off of digital media platforms, the tax dollars from that, or whatever portions are owed, will find its way to the Canadian government versus the American government or wherever they're based out of. Oh, right. So that's really like the big picture stuff out of it, right? Now, when you're growing, it's not going to impact you much. You're still going to do what you do, and you're going to fall kind of like under the radar of those bigger pictures. But when you start doing like major numbers, it's almost incumbent on you to pay your dues. So like I pay taxes on my ass. Like all the time, every month. It's just like, and that's what people don't see is like how much it costs to stay in the business of media.
Right.
It's just super. I always say like it's hundreds of $1,000s before you even turn on the lights. Right? Like before you even like hire your first staff, turn on the lights, light up the board, all that kind of stuff. You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on taxes, insurance, tariffs, and all that kind of stuff. The average YouTuber or digital media platformist doesn't have to deal with that friction
right
at the very beginning. And with BC11, you won't have to until you reach a certain threshold. And then once you reach that threshold, it'll be incumbent on you to pay your dues. But BC11 isn't just for catching those people that are entering the threshold, like I just made my money, why am I giving it away type of vibe. It's for the people who have been making money hands over fist on the backs of our culture and then leaving our culture and cultural development out. So, for instance, I said like there's no, where people are consuming Spotify and they're not going to the clubs so they can take in a Channel 9 set.
Mm-hmm.
That cheats that whole economic system from developing regionally or locally. And Spotify is getting all of that money and they're getting all of those views and all of that engagement. And we're losing out locally and regionally on that engagement that used to subsidize the corn soup guy, you know what I mean? All of that stuff that makes our systems go. Because think about like all of those, the corn soup guy was outside the government every weekend. Now the corn soup guy has to open up a restaurant to stay in business. So his overhead shoots up. He doesn't have the same access to the pipeline of people, and he has to spend money. And who helps him close that gap?
All right.
Right? Where, and Jeff Bezos is sitting on $1 trillion.
So Jeff Bezos needs to subsidize the corn soup man.
Straight.
Oh,
or at least the economic funnel that allows for regional and local business to thrive. And so C11 is a good thing. It's not perfect. C18 again, not perfect, but it's the steps that we have to take. It's the construction in the middle that gets us to where we're at. So right now, what we're doing at my level is Bill C11's been approved. And now I'm working with CRTC in line with some of my other team, and we're negotiating the line items. Where does the money go? What are those thresholds? Who are those key demos that need to be serviced first and third and fourth and fifth and all that kind of stuff. Right? So we have the framework, and we're gonna like paint in the lines of that framework now, how that's gonna work practically for us at the frontline level.
Okay.
And those are the kind of things that I work on now.
I was hearing that there was some backlash from some people about the implementation of Bill C11. What would those things be about?
It's again, like I think what people like when people get something for free, they're not incentivized to pay. And I think a lot of people who are complaining are like, it's the whole like Dave Chappelle said it best. He's like, I just made my $1 million. How are you trying to tax me? I just like go after the people who've been making millions. And that's really the rub, right? Like if you're a YouTuber and you scale fast and you're making money and you have engagement, you got to pay taxes on that. But you have to also remember, like for me to get a license, it's costing me like legal fees, tariffs, et cetera, et cetera. It's costing me like tens of thousands of dollars every time before you can even get on the board. Where like we can set up a StreamYard, a Twitch, YouTube, no barrier to entry, $15 for a URL, and we're off to the races. And there's no barrier to entry. All C11 says is once you hit that threshold,
everybody must pay.
You got to contribute because you're part of the media infrastructure. Think about this: like nobody complains when the Toronto Star. I used to work for Toronto Star. I used to have a national newspaper. We won.
Are you Jamaican, man?
Like, trust me, yeah. I'm Jamaican and Trinidadian, right?
Yeah.
So-
job, you lazy coconut.
right? But I have a national newspaper. Nobody complains when Toronto Star is paying taxes or on tariffs for like. So every time I printed 100,000 copies of my newspaper, and we did 170,000 a month, right? I had to plant a tree. So we got taxed on just repopulating forestry. So nobody complains when the big conglomerates are paying all of these extra taxes because they just assume that they're good for it.
Mm-hmm.
We become now those same eyeballs that were going to the Toronto Star are going to us on this, right? People used to read the paper and they used to watch local news, and now they're watching StreamYard. So if you're taking a share of the eyeballs, you got to take a share of the lift. And that's all it's really about. That's all. So that's what the pushback is about, is that like, they've been getting it for free. And I think when you give people something for free and you don't give them the response, they don't know. They just don't know what they don't know. And it's like, it's more of that. And like, what's fair when you've been giving somebody something for free? Is there a fair ramp up? Probably, oh, well, give us a year, give us 2 years. Like, you got to kind of just rip the Band-Aid off and jump right in and fix it on the fly. And I've kind of come to the conclusion, like in my life, I'm like, I know I'm going to pay taxes. I know I'm going to have to pay something. I'm going to have to. So I don't even think about it. I just chalk it up. I talk to my CFO and I'm like, you tell me what we got to pay. And I hate every time he says you owe this, I hate it. And I'm like, I don't want to pay it now. I kick rocks, but you do it because that's part of the exchange.
Okay. So Bill C11 comes around as like Kane in Menace to Society. Like, oh, you balling, huh?
Right.
Balling, huh?
Right. So, and there's smart ways, like offline, I'll talk to you guys about ways that you can navigate those things. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, so you don't have to, it's not even gonna be taken off a big chunk right off the jump. But as you scale, think about like success is a responsibility. Right? And I always say that, like, if you're going to be successful, you have to also be accountable. And that's one of like the values that we have here is like, we just want to be accountable to, like, if we're going to do more, then yeah, like I have conversations. Community radio is based on volunteerism. Right now I'm having conversations about how do we do revenue sharing with all of our on-air talent.
Oh, some NIL deals.
Right. And first you got to make money. And that's the hard part in Canada. That's why C11 is so important, because it puts us in a position where we can have those conversations, because everything in Canada is subsidized. And if we try to take on all of those costs, we're going to burn out before we can really like pay dividends. So networks, conglomerates, things like what we do with these like influencer collectives and collaborations are steps towards solutions to make that happen.
C11 will apply when it becomes pizza in the boardroom.
All right. I agree. You guys are on track.
I see what you did there, Jer. That's fancy.
Big shot, that boy Jer. Are you still on vacation, sir? Are you still out there on vacation? Soaking in the sun?
No, it looks like he went on a 3 or 4 night sun destination vacation. That's what it looked like. That's what the internet said. I need one of those. But
where's the last vacation you've been on, DJ Manifest?
Trey and I went to Vegas for New Year's Eve. He came to me.
I was in Vegas for New Year's Eve.
Say again?
I rang in the New Year in Las Vegas as well.
Okay. Yeah, man. So that was the last one. We're going to New York. We were supposed to go to New York 2 weeks ago and we didn't go. But we're gonna go next month for sure.
Yeah, Trey in Vegas?
Yeah, he had fun. We saw his favorite comedian. Everybody was there. So we saw his favorite comedian. Scott Iglesias, Fluffy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, look at this. Tadal's in the house. Tadal, if you were here earlier, would have heard the story of when you, sir, dubbed Sweets.
Yes.
So maybe you might have missed out on that, but
He's
you can always check the replay. We're gonna post that.
Yeah, he's the reason why. He's the reason why.
Is Trey
So
18
big.
yet?
No, not yet. 17.
When does he turn 18?
End of the year.
Is he a November baby like Fitz?
Yeah, November 25th.
Oh, okay. Like right. That's right. So Fitz is the 22nd.
Okay. Yeah,
Look
so
at this guy. Look at this.
yeah,
guy.
it's gonna be a good one. So probably take him. We went to actually in the summertime. We went to Montreal. We did all of Quebec.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We went to Old Town, Quebec. We drove down. We spent some time in Laval. Like we spent like 2 weeks in Quebec.
You guys got to stop this story, man. You guys got to stop this story. You did it on purpose. It's 11:10. See, remember we told you, Sweets, that I might stop you at like 11:10. It's 11:10. See, I'm all getting all like twitchy and stuff, man.
Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah.
At 11:11, it's almost 11:11. Everybody, nice try, Fitz. We got like 10 seconds. We do here in the break room, Sweets. Good juju in the break room. We try to manifest. See what I did there for about a minute or so. Everybody knows what's up. It is now 11:11. Everybody, if there is something that you want to do, manifest it. It's already May 23rd. We're past long weekend. So it's time to get going. If you had any ideas for 2023, anything that you were manifesting going into New Year's, as we were just talking about, right? If you haven't done that yet, keep manifesting it. Bring it. That boy Jer says to Bill C to manifest 11:11 Bill C. But for really though,
that manifest word is a powerful word, man.
It is, man.
Manifest for purpose. That's for sure.
Words matter. Words matter.
Words
it is
matter.
a big thing. It is a big thing, and you just gotta kind of push forward and believe.
Yeah.
And right now we're trying to manifest a plethora of good juju.
Juju. It's all about the good juju right now. All right. The more juju, the better.
Yeah.
Anyways, big up to everybody that's here tonight. It is now 11:12. I gotta breathe that out for a hot second. Sweets, man.
Appreciate you guys.
I'm so happy that you're here, and it was so good to hear some of these stories because shoot, man, it's funny. I remember, like I said earlier, I remember you as basketball, and to hear some of these stories that continue, that story is wicked. And then to hear how you've impacted the music industry as well is pretty cool. So I appreciate your time and thank you for being here.
No, I appreciate you guys, man. Keep doing what you do. I'll be back for 100.
All right. Big party.
Yeah.
All right, before you go, I'd like for you to share with us your top 5 rappers.
Woo! So funny. We're doing 50 years of hip hop right now. So, okay. So I'm gonna give you the top 5 that influenced me.
Yes,
not
that's
the top 5.
Not the top best or whatever.
Yeah.
In consensus, your top 5.
KRS-One is on my list.
KRS-One. Because
he's the reason why everything that I do, he's the reason why. First tour that I ever did was with KRS-One.
What?
So, yeah. So big. Like he was. I'll tell you that story another day.
The teacher.
I'll tell you that story another day. KRS-One, B.I.G., Nas. Another one who's an influence for me, but not necessarily a top 5. But for me, he's the reason why I do what I do. Slick Rick.
Slick Rick. Okay.
I just love his storytelling, and he found me at that right time.
Phenomenal.
Right.
That's another P word.
And Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, I say Jay-Z because his everything that he did. Jay-Z was, I guess, what Drake is to a lot of these guys right now. He just said all the right things at the right time, and you kind of grew with him. You know what I mean? And Drake would probably be on my top 5 all time if I had to do a top 5 all time. Because I think he's dope like that. Like I think
Drizzy grew on me. Drizzy definitely grew on me. He is wicked.
I love your list, bro. I love your list.
Yeah,
it's very diverse, eclectic.
Yeah.
What's a P word? Somebody in the chat, give me a P word. Diverse.
No,
eclectic.
Not that one. No, not that one.
Come on. Come on, just a P word.
A P word?
Words that start with the letter P.
Proliferous.
Proliferous. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
All right. How much points does that get? Fact.
Oh, that's 1,000 points for Gryffindor. 1,000 points.
Fat. You got it on the corner square, so it got more points for it.
Top 5 Raptors.
Top 5 Raptors. Let's go with Let's go with Vince, Damon, Do I say Tracy? No, I can't say Tracy. Vince.
Oh, you said Sandy. If you said Sandy, you can say anything.
I'm never gonna live that down. You told me the first one that popped in my head, and that's what popped in my head. Vince, Damon, Pascal. DeMar, Lowry, and Pascal.
I like that list.
Yeah,
you were doing okay until 11.
It's a very respectable list.
No, Pascal deserved. Yeah, he put numbers on the board, man. He's put numbers on the board. Like,
by the time he retires, he'll be the all-time greatest Raptor if he stays with the Raptors.
If he stays with the Raptors. Yeah. If he's gone, then he might fall off that list. He might fall off the top 5.
When's the draft? Next week? He's gone, guy. He's gone, guy.
I don't think he's the problem. I don't want to say it because I know he's a regular in the break room, but Fred VanVleet takes too much shots, man. He takes too much shots. He needs to distribute.
I don't know about regular in the break room. I stand on one thing, and the one thing is Pascal Siakam cannot be the best player on a championship team.
Does it?
That's it.
But,
That's all I got.
But can Jokic be the best player on the championship team?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's about to be.
Can Jimmy be the best player on the championship team?
Yeah.
So why can't Siakam?
Hindsight, huh? Hindsight, isn't it?
No, lots of hindsight.
I think Siakam can do everything.
Fair question.
Because you're not. But are you guys surprised by what Jimmy's doing? No.
I'm not surprised at how he's doing it.
You'd be surprised if Pascal was doing this.
No, I still okay.
Everybody is surprised that Jimmy's doing this.
No.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's doing it. I'm not surprised how he's doing it. Jimmy's being Jimmy, so he's definitely like if you put him in a room with like 5 guys, he's coming out 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, no matter who's in that room. So I'm not surprised about how he's doing it, but what he's doing, like he's not doing anything that Siakam can't do, and that's why I say like the numbers are strange in this version of the NBA, because Siakam can put up the numbers. Is he going to be as aggressive as Jimmy? Is he going to do that like the grit and grime type stuff? Like I don't think he can do that. But
that's Jimmy's special talent. That's his special talent. That sets him apart from anybody else in the NBA.
And that's the only difference. Like, what you see what Jimmy does? When I talked about it before, remember I said they don't make contact with each other. Jimmy makes contact on like 60 to 70% of his plays.
You gotta touch him.
You feel him. You feel him on the court. He will, and that's why he carves out room. That's why he can get so close to the bucket, because he creates contact.
Here's my hot take.
Yeah.
If Miami Heat wins the championship, Jimmy Butler is the GOAT.
Of what? Of
basketball.
Of Marquette?
No.
Of basketball.
No.
If Miami wins the championship, he will have done something that I have never seen anybody else do.
Which is what now? Stop
Beat
it.
every number one team
See, this is what
as
happens
a
when
as an 8
As an
seed.
8 seed, yeah, that's true. Because he's not. I was gonna say, can you compare him to the Detroit team that won a championship?
No, but they were at the top of the. They were
They
at the
were.
top.
They
were at
were.
the top.
But
He barely got
aside
into
from
the
seeding,
playoffs.
Aside from seeding, are they a similar type of team?
I would say yes, but we have to take it. We'll just have to put into consideration he
It's an 8
barely
seed.
got into the playoffs.
Not even an 8 seed. He was a play-in.
But they were.
Hey.
But where were they last year? What did they do last year? Last year they
Last
were
year they
what?
were conference finals.
They went to the finals. So this is not really surprise. They just had a shitty regular season. It's the same team, though, kind of, right? You know what I mean? Like it's not. This isn't surprising.
Raptors is the same team. They were fourth last year. We're not
But
giving
they
them that consolation.
Yeah, no, the Raptors are who we thought they were.
I think the Raptors had bad matchups. I think they could have been
too.
a second round. I think they could have been a
But
second
here's the
round.
thing. I hear what you're saying, but Miami Heat beat the best team in the league, which was Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, I don't think we could have done that, to be honest.
And I don't think so either.
Yeah, yeah.
So if he beats Bucks, if he beats Denver, if he beats Boston, and Lakers can't beat them, and Golden State can't beat them, and Jimmy Butler beats them,
the championship,
the best in the basketball history.
Hall of Famer. They will write songs about it. That's trophy. That's not trophy. That's statue worthy.
Big up to
He
Jimmy
will have
Butler.
done with the NBA what you have done with Vibe 105.
Don't kill me. Fireworks. Yeah, man. Yeah, if he were, I think, to be honest, I give him a fighter's chance when they square up against Denver. I'm not saying Denver all out right.
No,
Like-
yeah, they can get. They're going to give. It's going to be a good series if that's
Because-
the series. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, Jimmy, they'll have to feel him. They'll have to feel him, right? That's where Anthony Davis, he's trying to play basketball and not get touched.
No,
That's the problem.
it don't go like so.
That's the cheat code. If you can play aggressive, if they don't call you, like, luckily for Jimmy, they don't call a lot on him. You know what I mean? Like he's in the sweet spot. Like if his name was Draymond Green, he'd foul out every game. Right? He's in the sweet spot, like where he can create contact and not get fouled out. Like he's in a good spot right now. I love him. I love him.
Are you in town June 11th?
June 11th. I have to check my calendar. What's June 11th?
June 11th is Drift.
Drift.
Oh, on the water.
Drift, June 11th.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're in town, make sure you mark it in the calendar.
I'm
Join us
putting
on the
it in.
water.
I might be. I'll be coming back that morning or Saturday night. It looks like. So I will. I'm not far from there. So it's like right around the corner from me.
All right, wicked. All right, everybody, Drift June 11th. So if you haven't got a ticket, make sure you get your ticket. All right, we got DJ Ron C, Roots Redemption, and Mr. Majestic. Usually it's a great time. Starkey, we were just about to come over to you. What are you doing with the eyes?
What is this madness?
We were just about to come to that side.
It's typed in my thing. I'm gonna take a picture of this right now. Right now it says raid DJ
DH Lady, what up
Starkey.
with you? DJ Mr. GQ Love, what up with you? We were just about to come right over there. That is funny.
And they don't even know. Like I was like, oh, because I've had to pee for like 25 minutes. You know what I mean? This is live on the internet. Big up GQ Love. Big up DH Lady. Big up to everybody. Just for the people coming in, then I guess we got to be all professional and stuff. This is episode 95 of Pizza in the Break Room. We're here every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. We're also here Friday mornings. You can actually wake up with us Friday, 7:45 a.m. Cold pizza. We do that too. This is DJ Manifest, as it says on the thing somewhere. Also known as Randy Reed, also known as Sweets, who is I don't know, man. We tried to lay it down onto what he identifies as, but he is just a person
Multi-hyphenated.
Multi-hyphenated.
Yeah.
Super
Wow.
slash, like Cordell who?
Oh boy,
Cordell
look
Stewart?
at you, Cordell Stewart. Oh, you're making
Cordell Stewart. Yeah,
you're
super
making somebody
slash.
smile. Watch, he's gonna say, "Hey,
Okay.
yeah, oh boy, one more Malvern story."
DJ slash coach
One
slash.
more Malvern story.
Tell us a Malvern story.
All right,
Watch
yeah,
this.
tell us one more Malvern. Tell us one more Malvern story before we get out.
I'll be right back.
Oh, where did he go? Oh, he went to the bathroom.
Last week when he went and came back, Julie said, "What you gonna do? You gonna do?" We had Julie Black on here last week. That lady is
Oh yeah?
that
She's the
lady
best.
is too much.
She's the best.
She is that. That's the exact word. She is the best.
Yeah, I love her. I love her to death. Yeah. Malvern story. I don't know, man. Like Malvern raised me, man. Like, yo, were you there when? Remember when McDonald's used to give the all you can eat pancakes?
Oh yeah, but
And we were-
I never used to eat my all-you-can-eat pancakes in Malvern.
Okay,
I knew better than that.
we had a tournament. I think it was what was it? I think it was called the Mick. It was like probably a 95 or something like that. We had the Mick Titans tournament. And before the Mick Titans tournament, we all went down. It was Sandy, Dwayne, probably, I think Dave Fitzpatrick was on the team then. And we all went down to the McDonald's at Malvern Mall. And we were eating, and Jay obviously was there too. And we were eating all you can eat pancakes, and they kicked us out because they gave us the Homer Simpson.
Too much.
Too much pancakes. We're eating them out. They said you guys are eating too much. You guys got to go.
For 99 cents.
Yes.
Hotcakes and sausage.
All you can eat pancakes for 99 cents.
Yeah, all you can eat pancakes,
sausage,
99 cents. The whole ball team went before, and this is before the tournament, not after the tournament. Before the tournament, we're just like stocked up on pancakes, and
you share the
They were
plate.
like, we know it's all you can eat, but you guys can't eat. You guys can't stay here anymore. You guys got to go.
I used to do that at Milliken because the twins used to work at McDonald's.
Okay.
Right? So I remember when they introduced me, they, "What are you doing on Sunday morning?" I'm like, "Sleeping." Right? They, "Nah, come to McDonald's."
Right.
Brought me to McDonald's. I was like, wow. At that point, I felt like they were the best tasting pancakes I ever had.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know if it was the pancakes or if it was the syrup, but something was good.
Nothing tastes the same, guy. Remember Pizza Hut, guy? All you can eat Pizza Hut, yo.
Yeah.
$5.
I tell my son this all the time. I used to eat cake and juice every day. Every day for like a year. And the McCain Deep and Delicious and a Jungle Juice. Because it was
Remember Jungle Juice, man?
the combination of them was under $5. Like a Jungle Juice was like 99 cents, and the McCain thing was like maybe $1.99 or maybe $2.99.
McCain Deep and Delicious.
So I had a full Deep and Delicious and a Jungle Juice for $5 every day. Every day. I don't know why I did not get diabetes.
I just remember having deep and delicious with like a tablespoon, guy, and just like,
Straight.
yeah.
No, I remember because I never used to get Deep and Delicious in my house, right? That's not something that my parents would buy and bring home.
No,
and I remember I tasted it somewhere one time, and I'm like, what the devil is this? What is this?
Yeah, crack.
No, I didn't like it was gourmet cake to me. I'm like, where did this come from?
This is the best thing.
And it wasn't until I started like cutting hair and making my own money that I found my way to somewhere where they sell Deep and Delicious. And I buy the double chocolate cake.
Straight. Oh my God. Life.
So good.
Every day. This was a spoon, and like I finished that. Box that out every day.
God. The things you can do when you're a teenager, huh?
Right? And now I'm vegan.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've been vegan for 10. I've been
shit.
Well,
shit.
Yep. For 12. For 12
One of these
now.
kids are doing their own thing, while two of these kids are doing the same.
Damn it! I thought we wouldn't have any content for the Raiders. Now we can talk about vegans.
Yeah. 10
How
years.
You're
long?
vegan, huh?
10 years?
Yeah. 10 years. Probably no, 11 years now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What made you turn to veganism?
So it was. It's funny. It was like I saw it was the 3 F. So it was I wanted to have more fun. So I felt like if I was if I had better energy, better food, I could have more fun in life. Family, I wanted to live a long time. And then finances. I wanted to be, as a DJ at the time, like I wanted to stay slim. I was making bad food choices. I'm eating like mayonnaise and chicken at 3 a.m, kind of thing. Right? Exactly. Right. So I made a switch. I made a switch and then flipped that. So it was fun, family, finances. Why I made the switch. And I almost went cold turkey. It took me a week to get off of dairy, and then it took me 3 weeks to get off of meat. And then from that point on till now, I haven't touched it. I still make it for my son, but I don't consume it.
You don't consume it. That's awesome. I got off of meat first, and then it took me a little while to get off of dairy.
Okay.
Right, and then I was like, and then I just stopped at dairy. So dairy was the second thing the last thing that I got off of.
Yeah, it's much easier now. I was a fiend though, man. Like I used to make like cornbread fresh in the pan. I'd butter both sides of each slice, and I'd box up the pan. Like I just did dumb stuff. I don't know how my body still functions, kind of thing. But like I just made that shift. But yeah, man, it was. I don't miss the meat at all. It actually even just turns me off. And like if I get even traces of it, like if they like cook like a veggie patty on a platter that had meat on it, I can feel it.
You can sense it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody said, Manifest, I'm not vegan, but you know what? I want to try something.
Right.
Can you suggest a restaurant for me?
My favorite right now, and this is good for like if you're like kind of like transitioning, Evia. So Evia is this like it's kind of like a brunch / dinner spot.
Okay.
And they have both vegan and non-vegan things on the menu, but it's primarily vegan. It's EVIVVA. And they have spots all over the GTA. There's one downtown on Simcoe by the Scotiabank Arena.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah.
And it's nice. It's kind of like elevated a little bit, not, I won't say like bougie, but like it's like a nice brunch spot.
No. I know you're talking about. Yeah,
you can say bougie, guy.
I went there during the pandemic when everything was locked down and they had outdoor eating, so I was able to.
Yeah, it's a if you're just getting into it, they have all different options, and they cook it right.
It was my first time that I got what do you call them?
Just egg. Yes, egg Benedict.
Benedict.
Yes, yeah, they do it right.
And I'm like, how did they do this?
Yeah.
What in the egg yolk is this? But they did it.
Yeah, they do it right. Like they're good. They're good with it. Planta is good too.
Okay, which Planta do you go to?
So there's the one on Queen has probably I think the one on Queen has a better menu than the one out in Yorkville. Yeah. They have like a Chinese fusion. Menu at the one on
I was
Queen.
there last week.
Okay. Did you have the broccoli? It's like a
crispy broccoli,
sesame broccoli or something like that.
No, I didn't have it.
Okay, try that next time. That's fire. Yeah, that's fine. And then I guess the sushi and stuff that they have, the full sushi. Their flavors are all on point. Yeah, their flavors are on point. Like they do it up right. It's a little pricey, but they do it like the flavors are like if you're just getting into vegan, they do it up proper.
Yeah, I'm sure you bring anybody there.
They'll enjoy it. Was that pricey or bougie? Which one?
That they're more pricey than bougie. I think.
All right, I was just checking.
Yeah. The one at Yorkville is probably a little bit more.
That's bougie. The bougie one.
That's the bougie one. When I first went vegan though, all I ate was junk food. I used to eat at not fresh. Well, I did fresh a lot. Fresh is good, but there was a spot called, I don't know what it was, but it was like a greasy spoon type spot.
Oh,
Vegan,
Hogtown?
Hogtown vegan.
Hogtown vegan.
Hogtown vegan.
You get your Big Mac, you get your pizza, you get your
all of that kind of stuff. It's
all
just
that
all
stuff.
junk.
Yeah.
All junk. That's what I used to eat at the very beginning, and then I smartened up.
When I first transitioned to veganism.
Pause.
It's 2023. We cleared this already. You're good.
When I first transitioned to veganism or to a plant-based lifestyle.
Right.
When I first transitioned to a plant-based lifestyle, what I used to eat almost every day was Alibaba.
Okay. Yeah, they're good too.
You know Alibaba. So that's when I got introduced to, and it was actually Channel 9, because one day I went to Channel 9 was playing at Parkdale Drink.
Okay.
Right? I'm like, where can I get something to eat? And he said, try Alibaba.
Yeah.
Right, because it was just down the street from them.
Right.
And he goes, get a falafel. And I never had a falafel before. And there was never any reason for me to get a falafel before, because before I used to eat everything that was on the you know, on the shawarma, like right. So they said, you want a falafel? I'm like, get out of here with your falafel. What are you talking about? Yeah. But now I'm not eating the meats, so I tried a falafel. Okay. And I was like, what?
Yeah, Mediterranean is nice, man.
The falafel plates were nice, and the thing was that there's no Alibaba this side of town. They're all downtown.
Okay, so you want to try it? Taboola.
Yeah, Bayview. Bayview.
Okay, right. So they have one on Bayview too. But Taboola is if you like Mediterranean, they do it up proper.
Oh yeah, and there's one on Young Street, Young and Shepherd area.
And there's one on Queen. There's one on Queen too, like by Leslieville area.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I've been vegan. Like I'm all the spots. All the spots. Yeah. I frequent those places. But I cook a lot. I cook a lot of stuff now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that I challenge myself to like just cook, because again, I kind of felt funny, like I'm spending all this money on carrots and vegetables, and I'm like, okay, I can cook this. It's a preparation. You gotta have like the toppings and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what separates it.
You know what's funny for me sometimes?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get home and I'm like, man, I don't feel like cooking. All right.
Right.
And I have all these vegetables, and I'm like, man, I don't feel like cooking, man. I'm gonna starve. Like, I don't like. What am I gonna eat?
Yeah.
And then I say to myself, I could just eat the vegetables.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't have to cook them. I could actually just eat them.
Exactly.
But I'm like, no, I'm not eating them. I have to cook it.
Yeah.
That's beneath you. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my fridge is full of mushrooms and eggplants and all of that stuff. Yeah,
okay.
On a regular. So, coconut milk is a good base for everything. So I have cans of coconut milk. It's a good cream sauce for everything. A bunch of herbivores.
You know what I'm saying today? See, I'm just like listening to these guys just talk about it. I'm just waiting to see who's talking about the lettuce first.
All right, we'll do a whole
show on
vegan
veganism.
Menu. Yeah, we'll visit Manifest and have him cook, and we'll
man,
see him chef out the place.
Another one of the many talents. Another one of the chefs.
Do some vegan food in the break room.
I said I just had 20 wings and things. You know, speaking of wings, you know who? Okay, where do you get your cauliflower wings from? Do you buy frozen cauliflower wings?
No, because again, I can't do that anymore.
No,
I anything that I can make, I try to make. Like I'm not overpaying for cauliflower.
Well, regardless of what you just said,
yeah,
there is a brand called Soul.
Oh yeah, I have Wicked. Yeah, Wicked.
The cauliflower bites,
they're good. I can make those though.
Yeah,
I can make those. I perfected a lot. So what I'll do now is I'll make it, and because it's vegetables, right? You just have to you fast fry it, so that you can when you warm it up, you're just finishing off the cooking process.
Gotcha.
You freeze it, right? So because the vegetables are like you don't have like I cook things with mushrooms. You don't have like the mushrooms. You can eat the mushroom raw. You're really cooking it for like the sear or the flavoring or whatever have you. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Like you don't have to overcook anything. So it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot.
He's a real super slash for real.
You know what I'm seeing right now? This is I'm talking to Tadao right now. All right, I'm talking directly to Tadao. Is that I thought all the vegans were the same, but even now I'm seeing a different class of vegan, guys. This guy just outclassed a vegan. I didn't know you guys did that.
He did his 10,000 hours.
This guy, you know what I'm saying?
The man did his 10,000 hours.
I'm saying to that guy, this guy's like, yo, I'm like, I thought Fitz was a
I'm like 6,000 hours. This guy's like 10,000 hours.
Wow, you could do it, man. You could do it. It's not as hard. It's not as hard as it. Much easier now than it was when I started. Sure. Yeah, when I started, it was a little hard. It was a little harder. Now they have like, have you had the silk whole milk?
The what?
Silk has a new brand. So it's just silk. It's a brand of milk. It's like almond milk and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Milk. Now they have one that's just called whole milk.
Whole milk?
Whole milk. And it's like it's a mix of coconut, almond, and some other tree plant. But it's probably the closest thing. It's the closest thing to like milk.
Yeah.
So if you liked dairy, that version of silk whole, it's like it comes the carton is like shape of a cow. It's like not shape of a cow. It has like a cow print on it.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem with the vegans that we have here. Sweet, see, you had the fake milk with in the shape of the cow. You vegans. Yeah,
it's good though. But like if you like milk, it's good. I actually don't even like it because it's too milky. It's true. It's full leather. It's full leather.
It's full leather like your old Michael Jackson jacket used to have.
Yes,
soy. Oh, that is awesome.
Don't tell me.
It's good.
It's good.
All right, Manifest, man. My brother.
Much love.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate you. Appreciate you sharing your time.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, man. There's nowhere to. Star Q came here, man. Jesus, one sec. Give me a hot second. We're going through something.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say thank you to Chris and Manny and Callie. Thank you so much. Classy, sassy, bony girl. Thank you so much. Comfy Krista. Thank you so much for joining Pizza in the Break Room. DH Lady 85. Thank you so much. Licorice Trini. Thank you so much. The QWERTY Queen, thank you so much. Owen 7622. We appreciate y'all for joining Pizza in the Break Room, episode 95 with DJ Manifest. And Manifest again, we appreciate you making time for us in your schedule and sharing your time and sharing your stories with us and sharing the insight and sharing those words with the P's.
Yes, man.
Proliferous?
Perseverance.
And proliferous?
Proliferous.
All
right, guys. I'll see you guys at 100, man.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right, respect.
All right, we're out there. Big up, y'all.